Kelpieone here on Stainedglasscuts. I got a request from a subscriber, Christy Cannon, to show how I made the sand dollar that I posted on my Instagram account, Stainedglasscuts, which by the way is one word. Check it out if you want to see some of my older work. Christy has compiled 2 extensive how-to playlists on YouTube, fused glass and stained glass techniques, together over 700 videos. So Christy, here you go. The sand dollar was the result of exploring what happens to a single layer of glass when it's heated to the melting point. For my first attempt, I started with a glass circle and made 4 cuts in it with my lapidary saw and drilled a hole in it. Then I put it in the microwave kiln and watched what happened to it as it heated up. I thought the cuts came out a little bit too narrow, so I made the cuts wider on my next try. I was not expecting to end up with an iron cross. So, thinking about how to use this behavior, a sand dollar came to mind. I've not had a chance to get back to exploring other ideas, but for now, the sand dollar. To make this sand dollar, you'll need to be able to cut a circle of glass, saw glass with a ring wire band or lapidary saw, basically any saw capable of cutting glass. I'll be using my lapidary saw, and slump a single layer of glass in a kiln. I'll be using my microwave kiln. Not sure how this translates to a regular kiln, somewhere between a drape and a fire polish maybe. The key to making this sand dollar is the creation of a 1/8 inch fiber paper slumping pattern. With my compass, I've gently drawn a 1/2 inch diameter circle, a 1 1/4 inch diameter circle, a 2 inch circle, and a 4 inch circle. I use the smoothest side of the paper. The largest circle is the size of the glass I'll use. Now, using my Sharpie, I'll draw a diagonal line from the center of the circle beyond the edge of the largest circle. Now, taking my small protractor, I'll mark 4 angles at 72 degrees, 144 degrees, 216 degrees, and 288 degrees, and draw diagonal lines from the center through each of the marks. Now, where the diagonal lines cross the smallest circle, I'll draw a line between every other crossing point, extending the lines in both directions just to the 1 1/4 inch circle. This will create a star in the middle. Then, from the point where each extended line of the star crosses the 1 1/4 inch circle, I'll draw a line from there to the point where the closest original diagonal line crosses the 3 inch circle, and repeat for the other 9 crossing points. Okay, the pattern is done. You can vary the size of the sand dollars by varying the size of the circles. Just be sure the distance between the first circle, and the second is the same as the distance between the second circle and the third circle. On to cutting it out. Using my utility knife, I'll cut out the pattern staying 1/16 of an inch from the lines so that all the pieces stay connected. Once I have all the cut marks made, I'll use my skewer to remove the pattern. And there you have our pattern. If you're careful with this pattern, you can use it multiple times. And when I put it into the kiln, I'll flip it over so all the lines are face down. The sand dollar I'm making will use a 4-inch circle of glass. The COE of the glass is not important, as I'm not doing any fusing. I'll be making 5 cuts into the circle. Using what's left from making the pattern, I'll position the glass in the 4-inch circle. Then next, I'll take my whiteout pen and approximately 1/4 of an inch from the end of each point, I'll make a mark. About 1/8 of an inch wide. Now, after these marks have dried, I'll then go to my lapidary saw and cut a notch from the edge down to each side of the mark. I can show you on this pattern here what I'm looking for. So I want to make a cut from the edge of the glass down to either side of the mark. And then I'll clean out the material in the middle so that we end up with a notch in the glass, 5 of them actually, that looks approximately like that. Here are some actual examples of some of the pieces of glass that are ready to go into the kiln. As you can see, the notches start on the outside edge and they get wider in the middle. If you just cut a straight line, when in the kiln, the cut will close. And what happens then, and I hope you can see it from this piece, I've made black dots here to try to indicate it. The cut will close from the inside out. As you can see, it's pretty much closed. So you need that wider section down here so that it stays open. And also, it makes it look like the glass has a crack in it when it does not. It's just started to fuse from the inside out. Here's a sand dollar to be ready for the kiln. Just kind of a side note, I've gotten a few divots in my microwave kiln, but I've taken fiber paper and stuffed them down in here. After a couple of firings, they seem to stay put. So just a little tip there. So I'm going to take a piece of kiln paper, take our pattern, flip it over, and center our piece of glass, lining the points up with our cuts. And there you have it. Ready to become a sand dollar. You can vary the size of the gap by how much you heat the glass. Here are a couple of examples of a narrow cut, or if you heat the glass more, you can end up with a much larger indent. Into the kiln. And there you have it. Hope this video was helpful. The materials and tools shown in this video are available via the links in the description. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.